This morning, we're following a major development after a South Bend police officer shot and killed an armed theft suspect Sunday morning. The department will now mandate officers' body cameras activated during any interaction with civilians. As ABC57 News told you yesterday, Sergeant Ryan O'Neill's body camera was not recording when he shot and killed Eric Logan near the corner of Colfax and William Streets. We're told the police chief made this major switch to have them on during every interaction with the public at Mayor Pete Buttigieg's request. And joining us this morning live in studio, Mayor Pete Buttigieg to discuss Sunday's shooting and the aftermath. Mayor Pete Buttigieg, thanks for joining us this morning.
Good to be with you.
All right, and as you mentioned at your request, the police, as we mentioned at your request, the police officers mandating body cameras be activated during any interaction with civilians. My first question is, how will you monitor this moving forward to make sure the policy is being followed by all the officers? And what will happen if the policy isn't followed correctly?
Yeah, we're going to have to develop an audit system to make sure that this policy is being followed in the right ways. The whole point of a body camera system is that when you have an incident like what happened on Sunday, where a man has lost his life, a family is grieving, and of course you have an officer and his family dealing with the implications of what happened, that you have body camera footage to go to help shed light on what happened. It helps vindicate an officer who did the right thing, and of course it also creates accountability if an officer does the wrong thing, but that all of that is defeated if the camera is not actually rolling. It's why I asked the chief to put out a general order yesterday clarifying our expectation that when an officer is interacting with a civilian in the course of doing their job, that camera is recording. And we will need to make sure that not just in the aftermath of an incident, but on a routine basis, there are checks to make sure this is happening and being done in the right way.
And how do you make sure that South Bend police officers are equipped with the very latest technology? Are you pushing for the latest technology?
Well, this technology is already quite new for our department. It was implemented fairly recently, and the technology is evolving. For example, we're learning now about more features that have been added, and we want to make sure that we're keeping up with the times. And so as we work with the community to think about next steps going forward, talking to community leaders, neighborhood leaders, faith leaders, and people from around the country on best practices, we'll continue to try to upgrade and update what we have so that it's reflecting the very latest.
And regardless, we know the investigation is ongoing at this point. Regardless of the investigation and the outcome, will Officer O'Neill be held accountable?
So this city and this department is absolutely committed to making sure there is transparency and accountability. And I want to remind everybody there are two steps here. The step that's underway right now is done separately from the police department to avoid the sense of the police department investigating itself. It's with the Metro Homicide Unit and the prosecutor, and that relates to criminal charges. As soon as they're done, there's an internal process to establish whether the officer followed the department's policies and protocols. And anytime there's a major finding that that did not happen, that goes before the Board of Safety. So it sounds like a lot of process speak, but I want to make sure it's clear that there are different stages. And as soon as this is ready for an internal investigation, it will be thorough, it will be fair, and it will be as transparent as possible in order to make sure that the public gets answers.
And you spoke about the Board of Safety. You're going to be meeting with them this morning at 9:15. What are going to be the topics discussed this morning?
Well, this morning the Board of Safety is confirming a number of new South Bend police officers. And it should be a celebratory occasion, but it's also taking place in the shadow of this incident, and I think we need to face that. And so I'll be talking with the new officers about the burden that any officer carries right now, the burden of the uniform. Not only things that have happened through history, but things that are happening right now around the country that have created suspicion, especially between communities of color and people wearing that uniform. But it's not just to let them know the pressure that they're under, it's also to let them know the opportunity that they have, that when they do their job fairly, impartially, when they are a resource to serve people, in as many ways as possible. Step by step, they can be part of this incredibly important thing that needs to happen in this city, in this country, which is to transform the relationship that many residents have with the police department sworn to keep them safe. That needs to happen in our lifetime. It needs to happen yesterday. And they could be a huge part of that, and I want them to feel empowered.
All right, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, kind enough to join us this morning. Thank you so much.
Good to be with you.